So, is today a good day to buy gold? That's probably one of the most common questions people ask. But let me ask you another question. What if that's the wrong question? What if instead of actually trying to predict whether gold will be cheaper tomorrow, next week, or next month, you develop a strategy for consistently acquiring assets over time? So, welcome to day 14 of 30 days of gold and silver. This is day 14 of 30 days of gold and silver. And today we're talking about dollar cost averaging into gold. So, what is it? How does it work? What are its advantages? What are its limitations? And could it help remove some of the emotion from buying gold? So, let's talk about it. So, yesterday we talked about fractional gold, and we learned that you don't necessarily need to purchase an entire ounce to begin owning gold. Depending on the product or platform, smaller purchases may be possible. And that naturally leads to today's question. Instead of making one big purchase, what if someone purchased smaller amounts consistently over time? And that's the basic idea behind dollar cost averaging. So, dollar cost averaging, often called DCA, is a strategy where you invest a fixed amount of money at regular intervals, regardless of what the market is doing. So, for example, hypothetically, $25 every week, $50 every 2 weeks, $100 every month. And I'm not recommending those numbers, they're simply examples. So, the most important part is the concept: same dollar amount, regular schedule, regardless of short term price movements. So, you're replacing, I think gold is going up tomorrow, with the following. I'm following the strategy I decided on in advance. So, you may be asking, how does this work? So, let's use some easy hypothetical numbers. Suppose you decide to allocate $100 per month toward an asset. Month one, the price is lower. Your $100 buys more. Month two, the price rises. Your $100 buys less. Month three, the price falls. Your $100 buys more again. And over time, you're purchasing at a variety of prices instead of betting everything on one purchase date. And that's really the fundamental idea. So the key idea here is when the price is lower, your fixed dollars buy more. When the price is higher, those same dollars buy less. But remember, that doesn't automatically mean you'll make money. So the problem with trying to time the market, because here's where human psychology gets involved. Imagine gold falls sharply. What do people say? I'm waiting. It might go lower. Then it rises, and they say, I'm waiting. It'll come back down. Then it rises again. Now fear of missing out kicks in, and suddenly they're saying, I better buy before it goes even higher. I'm sorry. So they end up buying based on emotion: fear when prices fall, greed when prices rise, FOMO when everybody starts talking about it. Dollar cost averaging attempts to replace some of that emotion with discipline. So I can tell you from this point here that DCA, or dollar cost averaging, does not guarantee better returns. So this is extremely, extremely important. I don't want anyone here in this video and thinking, Billy said dollar cost averaging guarantees I'll make money. Absolutely not. It does not. If the asset declines over the long term, you can still lose money. And if an asset rises consistently after you have cash available, investing all of that money earlier could potentially produce a better outcome than gradually investing it. So dollar cost averaging, it isn't magic. It's primarily a behavior and risk management approach to timing, not a guarantee of superior returns. And let's talk a little bit about fractional goal, because that kind of changed the conversation a little bit. And yesterday we did do a lesson on talking about it. So historically, someone might have thought, I have to save until I can afford an entire gold coin or bar. But fractional products and certain modern vaulted precious metals platforms can allow smaller purchases that can potentially make periodic purchasing more practical instead of I need thousands of dollars before I can start. So someone might be able to create a consistent approach appropriate to their budget. But remember, just because a platform allows small purchases doesn't mean every purchase is automatically economical. And you still need to understand costs. So this is one of the most important part of today's lesson. And suppose you're making very small purchases frequently, you need to understand premiums, spreads, transaction fees, storage fees, subscription fees, if any, delivery costs. Because if each small purchase carries significant costs, these expenses can add up. So before creating any recurring strategy, ask, what's my total cost of ownership? Not just how little can I start with. That's the educated consumer mindset we've been building throughout this series so far. So here's the lesson. Here's where this lesson goes beyond goal. People love exciting, financial stories, right? Someone buys an asset, it explodes in value, and everybody says, I wish I would have bought it. But long-term wealth building often looks much less exciting. It looks like saving, investing, learning, repeating month after month after month. Wealth building habits are usually more boring than wealth building advertisements. And that's okay. That's okay. So this principle really connects with how I think about business and life. And I'm a big believer in discipline, focus, consistency. And you don't build a business from one great day, and you don't transform your health from one workout. And you generally don't build long-term financial strength from one emotional financial decision. You build systems, you build habits, and then you give those habits time to work. So here's today's wealth principle. Stop trying to predict everything. Start building systems. You can't control tomorrow's gold price. You can't control the stock market. You can't control inflation. You can't control what the economy does next. But here's what you can control. You can control what you learn. You can control what you save. You can control what you spend. You can control what you invest and how consistently you follow your plan. So here's where DCA, or dollar cost averaging, may not make sense. And I also want to make something clear. Dollar cost averaging isn't automatically appropriate for every person or every situation. Before you invest regularly, someone may need to consider emergency savings, high interest debt, income stability, short-term expenses, liquidity needs, risk tolerance, overall diversification, and other financial priorities. Buying gold shouldn't come before paying your rent. Financial education means looking at your entire financial life and not becoming obsessed with one asset. So let's recap. Number one, dollar cost averaging means investing a consistent dollar amount on a regular schedule. Number two, lower prices mean your fixed dollars buy more. Number 3, higher prices mean your fixed dollars buy less. Number 4, DCA or dollar cost averaging can help reduce the emotional market timing decisions. Number 5, it does not guarantee profits or prevent losses. And lastly, number 6, fees, premiums, spreads, and other costs still matter. And finally, I want to say that consistency is a strategy, not a guarantee. Now, I want to hear from you. Which approach sounds more like you? A, I try to wait for the perfect price. B, I'd rather consistently build over time. C, I'd probably use a combination. Or D, I'm still learning. So put A, B, C, or D in the comments and tell me why. And if you'd like to explore physical gold and silver and really learn about the platform that I personally use, you can visit the link in the description. I want you to explore how the platform works, look at the pricing, understand the spread, understand ownership, understand storage, understand liquidity and delivery. And before setting up any recurring purchasing strategy, understand all applicable costs and determine whether it fits your personal financial circumstances. And I want to say that if you are enjoying 30 Days of Gold and Silver, hit like, subscribe, and share this with someone who's constantly trying to figure out the perfect time to invest. Because tomorrow, we're going to have some fun. It's going to be day number 15, and we're going to discuss the biggest myths about gold. You may have heard gold is only for rich people. Gold never goes down. Gold is always a great inflation hedge. If you own gold, you don't need anything else. We're going to separate fact from fiction. So I'll see you in day number 15. And in closing, my closing thought, you don't need to predict every market move to build financial discipline. You need a strategy that you understand, you can afford, and can follow consistently. Guys, that's it for today. This is Billy B. Josie III, President and CEO of Stoneleaf Ventures, LLC, where we help everyday people create generational wealth and legacy through gold and silver and digital marketing. Guys, I'll see you in day number 15. It's going to be a good one. God bless. See you in the next video.